Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Scheer, you were talking a while ago about some of the programs were not, we did not evaluate them. They were not required by law to be evaluated. What's the penalty for not evaluating a program?
We would hope that through hearings such as this and by initiatives by the administration that there be a recognition that the demonstrated effectiveness of program should play some role in allocating resources.
Okay, so what you're saying is at this point there is no penalty?
There's no legal requirement.
There's no outcome that we're looking for that will show some sort of a penalty for not doing evaluation on it. Is that right?
The question there is almost like, how would you as a committee and the Congress and the administration respond in terms of agencies that run programs that don't measure effectiveness?
Okay, we can't measure the effectiveness. Why should we continue to fund it?
This is really, it's a great question, and it's one of the questions behind when we thought we were going to make the recommendation of tying funding to demonstrated effectiveness. In the absence of that, it's a difficult situation.
The gentleman from Kansas asked a great question, with regards to, he pointed out the problem we have with our budget, and we're going to have to find some places where we're going to cut. And, Mr. Chodos made the comment with regards to some of the things he was trying to do. But at the same time, if we have no measurement of any of the programs, on half the programs, I was going through here, we've got them highlighted. I mean, you look at some of this stuff. Some of the programs didn't meet goals. Other ones met some of the goals. Some of them have information on them. Some of them don't have information on them. I mean, and then when somebody complains, well, we don't have any, well, this is a great program and we've got to cut it, it's a bunch of nonsense. If we're supposed to be setting priorities, and, I would hope that you in your agency would help set priorities so that we know which ones to fund, which ones not to fund.
This is a very important point, I think, is that what we're trying to do is to provide our evaluation of the situation that we hope provides information that can reach to certain decisions. There's certainly value judgments involved where we're not going to make those value judgments. We're not here to pick the winners and losers of what programs should stay and which ones should not. But we are trying to do our best based on the information that we could glean from these agencies of how well these programs are working. And, there's just certain things where we have to look to the agencies to collect and analyze information.
It was kind of interesting. I served on Appropriations Committee back in Missouri, and when an agency came in and they couldn't explain a program, it was automatically cut.
Mm-hmm.
And you should have seen the gasps from the rest of the crowd, who were all full of, the crowd was made up of all the people from the agency. But that's how we got their attention, and that's how we managed our budget. This is ridiculous. Mr. O'Brien, the title of this hearing today is Examining Inefficiencies and Duplication Across Federal Programs. And I fail to see anywhere in your testimony, or hearing you testify today, anywhere where you talked about streamlining any programs. All you talked about was collaboration. Is there any place in the USDA that you are streamlining?
Yes, and I thank you for that question, Congressman.
Why wasn't it in your testimony?
I believe actually in some of the written testimony there was. Some of it should have been in the oral testimony.
Okay.
One thing I'd like to highlight on streamlining. In 2009, at the department-wide and including rural development, we instituted an effort called Blueprint for Stronger Service that was focused on just that, streamlining the operations and the programs across the department. Since that time, across the department, we've saved $700 million in things such as reduced travel, workforce reducing, as well as a number of things like coordinating procurement contracts, and a list that I'd be able to, and be very happy to provide you on the record afterward. Within rural development itself, in the last year and a half, we have reduced our workforce by about 18%. We've done things such as, in our business programs, we've created an approach where, of course, we have 47 state offices. What we've done is create team leads, 10 team leads in 10 different regions, so that they have a higher expertise and that they basically provide the training for our staff in these particular programs. And also, with some of the staffing shortages that we have, that they have some backup in those places. So it's some streamlining.
Okay, with regards to, you talked about a lot of collaboration. Okay, through your collaborative efforts, have you found places where you can save?
Yes,
working with other agencies, have you found where you can save some money?
I think yes, sir, and thank you for that question.
Okay, since you found places, have you instituted a program to save that money?
Well, I think that the money, instituted a program. I think that with the reduced, I think with those savings, what we've experienced as opposed to, because a number of our programs have been cut, and in particular our salaries and expenses have been reduced in the last 3 years.
Okay, we got that part of it. What about the rest of the programs now? You've got sequestration cuts coming here. Have you found a place where you can cut, other than salaries and associated expenses?
Well,
somewhere in your programmatic group.
Yeah, we have. And
give me an example.
In the FY13 budget, we identified some programs that we thought would.
Give me an example, please.
I think the Rural Business Opportunity Grant Program, the 2013 budget, was one that we recommended that it not be funded. There were a number of other programs that we did recommend some reduced.
With the new sequestration cuts, what's some of your latest ones you're going to go after?
The latest programs that we'll go after?
Mm-hmm.
Well, with the sequestration cuts, the way that of course, it works different in every agency. The way it works with our budget lines, each of our programs have their own budget lines. So the way that sequestration will affect the programs in the Rural Business Cooperative Service, each of those programs will be cut 5%. And we've looked at flexibilities to try and perhaps move some of those dollars around. But
you haven't
it's clear that we do not have that flexibility.
You haven't given an example of a program that you're going to cut or where you're going to make a cut.
In response to the sequestration?
Yes.
We do not have the flexibility to pick and choose on which program to cut and which